Should you watch Gintama? That is one of the questions that people has asked the most in the history of the anime community. And it's no wonder why, because Gintama is one of the most polarizing animes ever. On one hand, you have one of the best animes without any question, an anime that deserves the most amount of respect available, and that every person that has watched it 100% is gonna tell you that it's one of the greatest experience ever, and with every single aspect of it being great, having one of the best stories, the best cast of secondary characters, a lot of people arguing the best protagonist, and undeniably the best comedy in all of anime. But that is not the only thing with Gintama. On the other hand, we have the issues that are within Gintama itself, and there's multiple of them. The first one, and is the most obvious of them all, is the length of the show. It is not a short show. It is not a Full Metal Alchemist that, despite most people saying that it's one of the greatest ever, it only has 60 to 70 episodes. Or even a Hunter x Hunter that, despite the fact that also has a lot of different episodes, clocking at over 100, it's still well below the 200 mark. That does not happen with Gintama. Gintama has close to 400 episodes on its side, and that makes it so a huge chunk of the community has questions in whether or not they should watch it. However, that has made it so most of the community has fall into one of the three categories. The first one is the people that under no circumstances are gonna watch Gintama, and that is fine. They are not gonna spend almost 400 episodes in one show. It is something that should be respected. Watching almost 400 episodes is the equivalent of watching over 30 seasonal animes, and even watching several different shows of the considered quote-unquote middle to long length, like the already mentioned Full Metal Alchemist. There's also the other group of people that doesn't matter how much they hear against the idea, they're gonna watch it regardless, because they want to see by themselves what the show is all about. So we have the people that is gonna watch it regardless of what you say. There's the people that is not gonna watch it regardless of what you say. But there's a group of people in the middle. There's the group of people that is still to this day questioning whether or not they should watch it. And thinking about all of the characteristics, it's a good question to ask. There are several different arguments that you can have either in favor of the idea of watching it or against it. First is the type of show that it is. Out of all of the battle shonens, is by far the least focused in the battle side of things. Out of all of the 400 episodes, roughly 10% of them are the ones that are in the truly shonen category. Even if you want to up it up a bit, probably it's not gonna exceed the quarter of the entirety of the show, while the rest of it goes for other aspects. And the main one, and the main concern of everyone watching it, is the comedy. Gintama, at the end of the day, is inherently a comedy show. Even if you are there because of the emotional scenes, and you stay there to watch one of the best stories, you are still gonna have to pass through most of the show being comedy. And even the serious arcs are gonna have a lot of comedy behind. So, how can we be certain that it's actually worth? Not everyone has the same taste in comedy. A lot of people like more direct comedy. A lot of them want more silly gags, and others want just straight up really big setup type of jokes. And Gintama, even though it mostly focuses in one of these, it has all of them, but in different ratios. So how can we be certain that a regular person is actually gonna be able to enjoy it? And there is where I think that this show shines the most. Because I think that a show that can solve the issue of Gintama is the spin-off of Ginpachi Sensei. In the 22nd anniversary of the release of the first chapter of the manga, the anime Sannen Segumi Ginpachi Sensei came out, which is, as I said, a spin-off. Ginpachi Sensei was a regular gag in the original Gintama. It was a consistent thing that appeared every now and then in the close of the episodes or the last 3 to 4 minutes, and it managed to make a lot of good things. It set a different type of tone from the show, from that Edo-esque atmosphere to go into a regular, more modern-day high school, yet it maintained the same comedy. The jokes kept roughly the same level of quality, with the small detriment of the fact that they were not in a continuous story, which is why I think that Ginpachi Sensei is perfect. Ginpachi Sensei is the perfect way in which you can actually answer whether or not watching Gintama is worth, because Ginpachi Sensei has mostly the same type of comedy that Gintama. Now, Ginpachi Sensei has some issues behind, and I have to address them. First, because this is still a side story of Gintama, it's gonna have a lot of secondary things in mind. You will have most of the comedy being based on things that happen inside the show, which means that as long as you haven't watched it, you do not know fully the stereotypes and what every single character falls into. The second thing that you have to address is the fact that this does not have a story. It technically does, but that is like saying that any other regular comedy has an actual story. It doesn't. Does not. However, all of those aspects make this show an actual perfect way to start in the Gintama war, for one reason in particular, and is that despite all of the cons, this is still a seasonal anime that can be seen by itself. And the most important of them all is the fact that it also has the same comedy that the original Gintama. The humor of Gintama is very particular, and it's one that you cannot fully grasp with only the first couple episodes, because it's constantly evolving every single chapter, from simple yet effective gags to reoccurring characters, all the way up to extremely well-developed and well-timed jokes every couple seconds. It's a show that, as I said, keeps evolving, and it's very difficult to understand it. But Ginpachi Sensei works flawlessly thanks to that. Ginpachi Sensei is definitely not what the Gintama fans were asking for. It's definitely a downgrade compared with the original series. But there's one thing that it has over everything else, and is that the comedy, even though more inconsistent than in the original show, is very faithful to it. The meta jokes, the way in which they are portrayed, and everything related with comedy feels very similar for the most part in Ginpachi Sensei. Even though it is at a lower level, it's still very faithful to the original one, and that is fantastic for newcomers. Instead of having to watch the first season of Gintama, which is 200 episodes long, or watching an arbitrary number of chapters of the original show, in which the first two are also like literally filler, because why they decided to make it filler the first 2 episodes again? Oh, that makes sense. Instead of going for an arbitrary number of chapters and questioning yourself whether or not you make the right decision in order to start this show and watch up until a specific point, you can watch Ginpachi Sensei. You can watch a show that works by itself and has a set number of episodes of 12 to 13 of the regular length of 24 minutes, which is perfect because it's just another regular seasonal anime. If you do not like Ginpachi Sensei, then it doesn't matter, because you can just watch that by itself and that's it. and now you can know that the comedy of Gintama might not be for you. But if you like it, then you know that the comedy that is present in the main show is the one that you are looking for, and you will be able to enjoy it without having to question whether or not you made the right decision by starting a show of 400 episodes and 3 movies and 7 seasons and 17 specials and why there's so many things. And although this show was mostly a disappointment for the actual fans of the series because it didn't have the same quality of story, it is still a phenomenal starting point for someone that has never watched anything of Gintama, because it can set you for most of the jokes that you are gonna watch regularly in Gintama without having to be exposed to the entirety of it, which I think that is a perfect point to set you apart and answer the question of whether or not you should watch Gintama. And that's why I believe that Ginpachi Sensei follows and finally solves the conundrum of whether or not you should watch Gintama. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you all enjoyed it. If you want more content like this talking about unique shows, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It will help the channel to grow and will help you to make me realize that you actually love this type of content. Now, if you regularly watch this channel, you will notice that for the first time I have an actual mic. And as such, it might cause some trouble or might be inconsistent at times. I am yet to fully know how I want to set up this mic, and I haven't fully found the reason as to why I buy it, because I still do not know why it doesn't sound the way that I wanted to. So I wanted to make this video kinda like a test of how much can I push this mic and how good it fully sounds in a long period of time. But if you do not like it, I'm sorry. I'm still trying to find the right way to use it and the right specs, but I do not know. I'm a troglodyte. Regardless, once again, I hope that you enjoyed it and see you next time. Bye bye.